On the 17th of March in 2018, the Chinese president is recorded here sitting with his back to his party delegates at the People's National Congress, about to undertake what was probably the most important action of his entire life. The red paper that he puts inside of this box is him voting to make himself China's first president for life. And I have to say, this is one of the few times that I've ever seen him looking genuinely happy. His vote is then followed by thousands of others, totaling at just over 3,000, with only 2 against and 4 abstentions. And with this, Xi Jinping takes total control of the Chinese government, for as long as he wants, at a congressional session where most had been expecting him to announce his successor. At the same Congress, Xi announces that China's development offers other countries a model for nations that want to speed up their development, and that it's time for China to take centre stage in the world and make a greater contribution to humankind.
Hi there, how you doing?
I am wonderful.
I am so sorry. That flight is canceled.
No.
Customer incident at the other end.
What? So when is the next flight?
Yeah, they're all kind of full.
I booked this weeks ago. It's my best friend's wedding.
I'm sorry.
I have to get there. I have to.
Okay, let's see what we can do.
Oh, thank you.
I see there's one standby seat on another plane leaving tonight.
Oh, okay.
That's reserved for members of our Prime Flight program. You gotta be a 4.2 or over to qualify.
Oh, I'm a 4.2.
I'm afraid you're actually a 4.183.
Oh. Well, that's not my fault. Some woman dinged me down in the cab. Can't you just...
I'm sorry, it won't let me book it without the correct ranking.
But it's so close.
There's just nothing I can do.
Christ, I mean, surely.
I'm gonna have to ask you to moderate your language there.
Sorry, it's just... I'm maid of honor. I cannot miss this wedding.
And I am so sorry about that.
Can you call the supervisor?
I cannot do that.
Can you just call the supervisor?
I cannot do that.
Call the fucking supervisor.
Okay, that's profanity. We're zero tolerance on profanity.
I'm sorry, it's just...
Yeah, I have to serve the next customer.
No.
You step away, ma'am.
God, just fucking help me! I'm so sorry.
I've called security.
Oh, no, please don't do that. I'm a 5-starring you. 5 stars.
What's the issue here, Hannah?
Intimidation and profanity.
Oh, no, I was not intimidating.
speak, ma'am.
I was just trying to...
Okay, so, in order to restore calm, I'm invoking my authority as airport security to dock you 1 full ranking point as a punitive measure. This is a temporary measure.
No!
The score reverts to normal in 24 hours.
No, but I
During
need
this
it now.
probationary period, all downvotes are subject to a ×2 multiplier.
×2?
We recommend you avoid negative feedback at this time.
I'm on double damage.
Please, remove yourself from the airport immediately.
Imagine a society where everything you do, everything you say, and everything you buy is controlled and evaluated by the authorities. It's not science fiction. In China, it's a reality. From now on, citizens' lives are rated and assessed. This is what the Chinese Communist Party calls social credit.
Here's our chart of excellence models. I'm the second one.
In Fulushan, the villages have been rated for a year. There are good citizens who contribute to the community, and bad ones, those who, for example, leave their trash out. Chong Kejong is featured on the Wall of Honor because of his exemplary behavior.
It's because I help to keep the village clean. I also help people improve our environment, and I help people become wealthier. I'm proud, but it's also a lot of pressure, because when you're on this wall, you always want to be better.
The social credit rating system began testing 5 years ago in approximately 30 Chinese cities. It will be rolled out across the entire country by 2020. Good citizens will benefit from discounts on their bills and will be able to get bank loans more easily. Bad citizens will be banned from buying train or plane tickets. For the Communist Party, this system is a way to punish and exclude those they judge to be disturbing the harmony of Chinese society.
By using the mechanism of social credit, we'll be able to establish a blacklist of people and create a system of punishment that will be based on a scientific theory. These punishments will serve as a whip to rebuild moral values. Our society needs it.
This morning, Simon Phoenix escaped from this cryo facility. We've had 11 murder-death kills so far. You see, we have become a society of peace, loving, and understanding, and we are, quite frankly, not equipped to deal with this situation.
There have been no deaths of unnatural causes in San Angeles in the last 16 years.
The Santa Barbara, Los Angeles, San Diego Metroplex were merged in 2011. You are in the center of what used to be Los Angeles.
That's great. You, give me a Marlboro.
Yes, of course, right away. What's a Marlboro?
Just a cigarette, any cigarette.
Smoking is not good for you, and has been deemed that anything not good for you is bad, hence illegal. Alcohol, caffeine, contact sports, meat.
Are you shitting me?
John Spartan, you are fined 1 credit for a violation of the verbal morality statute.
I'm putting this quick video out there because it's amazing to me how quickly people turn the keys of their mind over to somebody else and just trust them for no reason at all. As a matter of fact, when there's every reason in the world not to trust government, not to trust the CDC, not to trust the World Health Organization, people in the face of the facts continue to applaud for politicians, for example. I want you to see this. This is from a subscriber. They said, "Don't get the pandemic that shall not be named swab test. My friend's previously healthy husband was asked to get one at work last week, and he is now in the ICU with pneumonia in both lungs. The test was contaminated. Refused the test." Now, YouTube, I'm just reading that from somebody else. I'm not making any claims or assertions here, but why would you trust somebody to stick a swab of whatever, God knows what's on the end of that swab, down your throat in the back of your nose? You don't know these people. How can you trust them? How can you really let your guard down around somebody that you don't even know, you've never met, you don't know what their history is, you don't know what's in the test, but you're going to submit to this anyway? You're going to submit to something that invasive where it's going to go into your body. You're going to drop your barriers, drop all your defenses, throw reasoning out the window, and just have them swab the back of your throat or the back of your nose or take a blood test? I don't even understand that. And the last thing I want to deal with is this right here. This is an old article from September 4th, 2019 by Paul Joseph Watson, but it highlights an amazing disconnect that people have with continuing to support people like Donald Trump, or on the other side of the aisle, a Barack Obama or a Hillary Clinton, in the face of facts that they know to be facts that they even report on. Check this out. Check out the headline. This is all you need. Trump administration considering social credit score system to determine who can buy a gun. And just read, I read this with my jaw hanging open, not because of what it said, but because of, in spite of what it says, people like Paul Joseph Watson and Alex Jones continue to champion the cause of President Donald J. Trump. And say, well, he may have some flaws, but we need him as president of the United States next term. Why? The Trump administration is considering launching a social credit score style system in coordination with big tech that would use spy data collected from Amazon, Google, and Apple devices to determine whether or not an individual can own a gun.
What the hell is that?
John Spartan, you are fined 1 credit.
Bad language, chocolate, gasoline, uneducational toys, and anything spicy. Abortion is also illegal, but then again, so is pregnancy if you don't have a license.
Caveman, let's finish with all the Rip Van Winkle and get moving. Mr. Phoenix has risen from the ashes.
Uh-huh. I tracked that dirtbag for 2 years, and when I finally bring him down, you turn me into an ice cube for my trouble. Thanks, but no thanks.
The conditions of your parole are full reinstatement into the SAPD and immediate assignment to the apprehension of Simon Phoenix. Or You can go back into cryostasis.
Not many people get a second chance, John Spartan.
And don't think for a second that they're just going to stop there. The proposal is part of an initiative to create a Health Advanced Research Projects Agency, or HARPA, which would be located inside the Health and Human Services Department. The new agency would have a separate budget, and the president would be responsible for appointing its director. A separate budget. This means that the tax cattle will continue again to pay for another program that's going to take away even more of their rights. HARPA would employ, quote, breakthrough technologies with high specificity and sensitivity for early diagnosis of neuropsychiatric violence, including Apple Watches, Amazon Echo, and Google Home. But look at this. In other words, and this is Paul Joseph Watson talking about this, we have to call this out, guys. You would never stand for this if an Obama or a Bush or a Hillary tried to implement this on the land. You wouldn't stand for it. In other words, data collected from devices that spy on private conversations and closely monitor user behavior would be used to strip Americans of their fundamental rights. This guy says, though the proposal is startling as a voluntary data collection scheme allegedly aimed at finding warning signs of mental illness, we all know so-called voluntary government programs often become mandatory at the drop of a hat. And it says, according to the Washington Compost Pile, Trump has reacted very positively to the idea. White House considers new projects seeking links between mental health and violent behavior. And then Paul Joseph Watson continues, the full scope of the program is chilling and would provide big tech with an easy excuse to formally impose the total neurosurveillance of citizens via their smartphone and home assistant devices, something that has already been occurring surreptitiously for years. And then he says, one wonders if Trump has any idea of the slippery slope this would entail. There's another, like, giving an excuse, giving an out for Trump. You know what? He's so smart, he can play 5D underwater triple backgammon chess blindfolded, but he just can't figure out that this is a multi-level surveillance system that it's going to infringe on and take away the rights of Americans while it claims to be protecting and serving them. One wonders if Trump has any idea of the slippery slope this would entail, or whether he was sold on the idea because Ivanka cried. The proposal bears some similarities to Communist China's social credit score system, where citizens' behavior is tightly surveilled and then met with rewards or punishment. As we reported last month, the Chinese government bragged about preventing 2.5 million discredited entities from purchasing plane tickets and 90,000 people from buying high-speed train tickets in the month of July alone. Guys, what's amazing to me, and it really shouldn't be, is that the Owen Schroyers and the Alex Jones and the Paul Joseph Watsons of the world continue to hail Trump as a champion for freedom while they report that he's taking away freedom.
I had some family that did stuff for the CIA, because my dad, he was someone who would do medical procedures on high-level CIA people.
Whenever I go to a family reunion, half the people in the room are former retired CIA. I've had family that got like 7 Silver Stars and stuff like that, but it's all classified. Some of the highest decorated people in the country. I was recruited by patriot elements inside the shadow government.
Hooked up at the Psych Warfare Center run by the Pentagon at UT. I'm not even supposed to talk about the fact I've been let in there repeatedly.
These guys were like colonels in the Army and Air Force generals, and I'd go to these meetings when I was like 18 with the former Marine Corps 3-star general or a former 3-star Air Force weapons head, or, you know, and they're like telling you this stuff, and you're like, what? And they're like, listen, they tried to recruit us. You're going to have to get ready. I remember being 4 years old with like an FBI agent and an Army colonel and all these people at my dad's house. And they're all sitting around the table talking about this and how do we beat it. And just all these decades later, 40 years later, it's all true. It's all true. I mean, I was so blessed to be born into people that knew what was happening. I wasn't like bragging, I was like going to meetings with like former head of Air Force weapons development, multi-star Marine Corps generals.
We've got a lot of folks work here at the office that were in the military, and some of them were, involved in not just your standard special operations stuff, but some of the most elite groups out there. And the most elite of the most elite, highest level, we have it. I'm going to leave it at that. CIA, Dev Group, Delta Force, you name it, all of it, whole 9 yards. Then I was talking to another insider who'd multiple times been around a bunch of Masons. I've had a lot of family that were high-level Masons. I don't hide that fact. I've had family that have been 33rd degree Masons. What do you think they discovered? I've got family on both sides involved in the founding of Texas.
A good person has sent me this. Excellent. This is octagon everywhere. There's a G, the Templars G, you know, hidden in it. The Swiss Templars cross, the all-seeing eye, octagon. This is yeah, the Swiss cross again. This is Alex Jones's stuff with the V of the Templars. It's all hidden in here. And here too, the Templars cross and the Swiss cross in the middle of it. And I'm very sure you'll find more things in it as well, you know. It's all hidden. Symbols don't lie. And this guy here who's supposed to know all these things, he's telling us about it. I mean, why is he using it? Eh? It even says, you know, this is quite cynical. Open up your eyes. So cynical. Well, we are opening up our eyes, mate.
I want to see a Swiss system. I mean, I wouldn't mind being conquered by Switzerland right now.
How would you describe what the circle is to, say, your grandmother?
It's the chaos of the web made elegant.
Speed round, Paul or John?
Early Paul, late John.
Mario or Sonic?
Early Sonic, late Mario.
Needs of the society or needs of the individual?
Should be the same.
You're most scared of?
Unfulfilled potential.
I am a believer in the perfectibility of human beings. When we are our best selves, the possibilities are endless. At the circle, there isn't a problem that we cannot solve. We can cure any disease and we can end hunger without secrets, without the hoarding of knowledge and information. We can finally realize our potential. Circlers, do you like to share? We will see it all. If it happens, we'll know. Imagine the human rights implications. There needs to be accountability.
What is this?
The circle has the power to change everything. It's only our lies that get us in trouble. Things we hide. We care about everybody you care about. Because knowing is good, but knowing everything is better.
Mao Zedong was the founder of the People's Republic of China. Born in Shaoshan in the Hunan province, Mao trained as a teacher and then began working in the Beijing University Library, where he started reading Marxist literature. He helped to found the Chinese Communist Party in 1921 after the Communist Party was victorious in a civil war against the ruling party, the Kuomintang, and in 1949 Mao founded the People's Republic of China. Mao's reformation of Chinese society started with the government taking state ownership of industry and farming, and any opposition to these plans was met with ruthless law enforcement using any action Mao considered necessary. In 1958, Mao launched the Great Leap Forward scheme, designed to mobilize labor forces and improve production, but the scheme failed and millions died from the famine resulting from Mao's plans. In 1966, to try and improve his public opinion, Mao launched the Cultural Revolution, in an attempt to remove impure elements of society. As a direct result of his actions, 1.5 million people were killed, and much of China's cultural heritage was destroyed. During Mao's reign, it is estimated that 40 to 70 million people died as a result of his policies. Despite this, his economic, technological and cultural policies laid the foundations for modern China and transformed the country into an industrial world power. He is regarded in China as the savior of the Chinese nation.
把主席任期限制取消了，保持我们政策的稳定性，实现我们中华民族的复兴有了政策的根本保证，非常好。
It is quite obvious a step backwards, and I do believe that this generates resentment within the party leadership, among the intelligentsia, because they are concerned with the potential of a return of the Maoist style of leadership.
He's now president for life. President for life. No, he's great. Hey, look, he was able to do that. I think it's great. Maybe we'll have to give that a shot someday.
Unless we take additional precautions and gather more information and move cautiously and slowly, that we won't be prepared for a second wave.
The head of the Canadian Medical Association says Canada needs more testing, more contact tracing, and more PPE to be ready for the second wave of COVID-19.
Welcome to London.
How old are you, Auntie? 12. I think that makes you the youngest person in the entire country.
Oh, I missed you so much.
What are you afraid of?
What if it comes back?
It won't come back.
What if it does?
If it comes back, we kill it.
If you come into direct contact with the infected. What happened, Dad? It's Mom. Step 1, kill the infected. Step 2, containment. Containment fails. Step 3. Extermination.
21 individuals on the Grand Princess tested positive. Among those positive for coronavirus, 19 crew members and 2 passengers.
U.S. Vice President Mike Pence sharing an update Friday after coronavirus tests were airlifted to and from the Grand Princess cruise ship off California. The ocean liner, with more than 3,500 people on board, including hundreds of Canadians, has been barred from returning to its home port in San Francisco after a traveler from its previous trip died of COVID-19. A total of 46 people have been tested so far.
We built heaven and made it float.
What about this for the world and the Google Thought Police in the comments section below, and I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video.